We're going to do it this time. When you think about how crazy it was the last one, we actually got in quite smooth. Okay. Is Mike there? There he is.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we're good? Okay. Hello, True Beauties, and welcome to our Tea Time Talk Live, where we record the True Beauty Confessions podcast. This is the space where we confess our truths, our story, and unpack everything that makes us beautifully human. This podcast is for those of you who are ready to up your beauty game, do the dirty work, and start digging. I'm your host, Michelle Rosetta. And we are very excited to welcome Mike Bullard, who some have called a legendary stand-up Canadian comedian and radio broadcaster, known for his series Open Mic with Mike Bullard, one of the longest-running late night shows in Canadian history. Mike has just returned from a military humanitarian mission in Ukraine and is super excited to talk to us about ticks in Northwestern Ontario. Are you ready to go on another mission?
Sure.
Is that like the highlight? I get to come back to Canada and talk about ticks.
By the way, it was the longest running late night talk show in Canadian history, not one of. And it could have been on 3 weeks and it would have been the longest running late night talk show in Canadian history.
I did the research, but I cut and paste this from your bio you sent.
Yeah, you know how I feel about things like cut and paste, Michelle.
Yeah, well, those are your words. But I did a little bit of research and I realized Canada, for late night talk shows, hasn't necessarily hit the mark, and you're pretty much the only one who did.
2 before me, Peter Zowski and Ralph Benmergui.
And how long did those run on air?
Zowski was 2 years, and so was Benmergui.
So again, historically, from my research,
by the way, they were once a week. You can't do a once a week late night talk show.
Right.
It has to be on every day.
That's a long haul. I see you have arrived back in one piece. Are you in one piece back from the Ukraine? Yeah.
Yep.
So I know that's a huge conversation. We could probably have like a whole episode on it. But if you had to sum it up, your experience in one statement, what comes to mind?
I owe Ukraine a lot more than Ukraine owes me. It completely changed my life for the better. 2 bad things. One I'm not allowed to talk about. And the second one was Dnipro. I saw somebody when I got home for one session over, and I was part of a deal where a 5 and a 6-year-old were pulled out of a hole and killed in their sleep. Pretty horrific. But
So
I'm all right now, Michelle, and I'm ready to talk about shallow stuff like beauty.
Hey, beauty is not shallow, and that's the whole point. Realize it is a frequency, and we have made it quite shallow in terms of this last genre of humanity, and we are trying to up that beauty frequency, and people need to realize it is something that is internal that expresses itself externally.
Right.
So that's
I've known you for a long time. And I know how bad your temper is. So I'm going to show you my 2 beauty products just to set you up.
It's all coming out. My
Same eyes exfoliant for my face.
Okay, put it away. We're going to get to that. I wanted you.
Here's my motto, Michelle. Here's my motto. Here's my credo I live by. If it's $4.95 a Shoppers Drug Mart, it's good enough for me.
Well, we're going to let you know what's happening to your skin for that $4.95. And I highly suggest if you just upped it by 15, you'd be doing your Visage a great service. But I want you to know why I wanted you on this episode. So given that your second career after you retired from Bell Canada as a highly successful Canadian stand-up comedian, leading to your Open Mic with Mike Bullard show, did not start until your 40s. You have once again, as you stated, recreated self in your 60s, just recently celebrating a birthday, but we don't have to tell anyone the your age.
Right.
And I've heard you say multiple times you've never dated under 30. So I thought you were an excellent gentleman to speak on what is yet one of our most widely discussed topics in regards to age and how we see it as a limiting factor and almost a failure in a sense.
I've always
And
dated.
you seem to defy all of those myths. You defy them.
I've always dated women who were older than I was. I don't want to do it now. All right. I've decided to turn that around a little bit.
Are you dating now then? Or are you all hitched up?
I told you I wasn't going to talk about my personal life, but yes, I am.
Okay. He's hitched up. Anyhow, what are the thoughts that come to mind when we talk about life and the process of aging for you? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I enjoy it. Ride my bicycle 5K every morning. I do 100 crunches, work out with free weights, and this will make you happy. I do yoga for about actually 4 minutes of it is yoga. Yeah, it's basically downward dog, which I learned from a dog, and stretching.
So that sounds like that's your regimen in order to keep your physicality up to par. Emotionally, when we talk about aging and the idea around how it is, especially even in the entertainment industry, consistently is looked at as a limiting factor. Why do you think you didn't fall into that type of perspective?
Lifelong abstainer from drugs and booze.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. I don't tell anybody else how to live. I don't care how they live. For me, it's always been about that. I've been the designated driver my whole life, which is a bit of a drag, but no booze, no drugs of any kind. The only time I ever smoked a joint was in police college under supervision, and it made me sick.
But that still doesn't talk about how you made the transition from Bell to doing stand-up comedy in your 40s.
Wasn't really a transition. I was doing all the Bell stuff, every nightly event. I was, banquets, all that jazz. And I was doing stand-up at the same time. So I had my job right up until 12 weeks before the show started. So I was still at Bell 12 weeks before the show started. And I took early retirement and went right into the show. Most people didn't know I ever had a full-time job. They thought I was a full-time stand-up. And by the way, I feel better now than I felt in my 30s because I had to be at the office every morning at 6:30. Didn't matter if I was in Timmins the night before doing a Yuck Yucks gig, I had to be in the office. So I feel better now because now I only do the one thing, which makes me...
How did that impact your health?
Not really, not at all. Because like I said, I didn't drink, didn't booze. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford to do it. If I had, I would have been toast. I would have lost the job probably, and I wouldn't have been any good in the stand-up world either. It would have been bad. I was tired a lot of the time. Sundays, I slept a lot, but you can't catch up in one day.
So is that why you are kind of, it was pegged as insult humor? Were you just crabby?
Yeah, that's hard to say. Let's not try and bring our personal history into this.
That's not personal history. That's the reviews. When you read someone's reviews, if anyone has been in the celebrity world,
if they want to compare you to Don Rickles, I got no issue with that. None. And if doing spontaneity is a crime, lock me up, because I like dealing with the audience. And it's what I do because I didn't have time to write stand-up. I wrote 5 minutes of stuff when I started on amateur night, And as soon as they made me the MC, I was happy because it was all off the cuff, spontaneous stuff. And interestingly enough, David Letterman never headlined either. Always MC'd because he, like myself, was preparing himself for a late night talk show. That's why I did it.
Well, the interesting thing is, I do notice because I've witnessed that you do have a quite substantial demographic that loved your work, right? And I just think that do you feel it's difficult in terms of being in the public eye and balancing out your own self-conscious? We all have different things that we may be self-conscious about because people are brutal. Like you don't see anyone else getting up and doing it, but yet people can be absolutely vicious online. How do you manage that? How have you managed that?
They're vicious online with 12-year-old kids. They're vicious online with 10-year-old kids. So, of course they're going to be vicious online with you in the public eye, but it hasn't happened to me for a long time. It's been really good. And a lot of people followed me through Ukraine. And other than one whack job who felt we shouldn't be there, everybody else was extremely supportive. And by the way, if you're going to go into this in this country, you better have a thick skin.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to do well. And the other thing is, I'm not going to mention his name, but there was one person who had a show at the same time as me. And we were both interviewed by the same guy. And the guy said to me, well, he doesn't like being out on the street. He doesn't like talking to people, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? If it's a big deal when you walk out on the street, if it's a big deal when people see you on the street, you're an asshole. And you should have become a plumber. Because if you don't have time for regular people who want to walk up and talk to you, you don't belong in this business. Last week I was in Ottawa. And there was one person who shall also remain nameless, who seemed to be all about their act and didn't seem to take any joy in the show or the other comics. And I made a comment at the end of the week, which is, if you don't take joy in this, if you don't enjoy every minute of it, if you don't enjoy the other people, then you don't belong here. You just don't. It really makes me mad when people are like that.
What happens when you get on stage?
And as a person who...
What happens when you get on stage, Mike? Why do you keep doing this?
Because I love doing it. And switch goes off in my head. That's it. And I don't analyze it. I don't examine it. And as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to keep doing it. Mark Breslin told me he wants me to do it forever. Because he said, he said your demographic is young, old, and in between. And he said, you kept all your, you kept all your brain cells. You didn't burn them up in a bar or doing other things. And he said, I want you to keep doing it.
Well, I'm not going to tell anyone your age, but you're looking good. So I guess like the running and the swimming and the crunches and whatnot are paying off.
You know that Ukraine has no processed food. I lost 22 pounds there.
Oh, that is a very good point to bring up because it is the internal. It's what we're putting in. It's going to be coming out. So that is an excellent point.
Wow. I can't believe I actually was in agreement with you before I even knew what you thought. Holy smokes. What an exciting moment.
This has been a paradigm. Humanity is in the ascension, right? So we've ascended into agreement somewhere.
By the way,
pardon?
I love the way you put that in layman's terms. You can't say humanity's toast. You got to go, humanity's in the ascension. You can't say humanity's doing well. You got to go, humanity's in the ascension.
I just want to put it out there, get into the matrix. You called yourself a late bloomer, though. So thinking back to high school, and thinking about what it's like for men to grow and develop at that age, do you feel there's the same pressure in comparing themselves to others? Did you compare yourself to others in your life as a man?
I think they're under more pressure now. When I was in high school, and I still have the same best friends, and they have been all my life, we had a great time. It was the greatest time of our lives. Socially, it was fantastic. We played football together. We went to parties together. We went through all our insecurities together and came out the other side as men.
How
And I think one of the biggest differences between then and now is when I was in high school, if a bully wanted to give you a hard time, they had to walk up to you and punch you in the mouth.
right.
Now they can sit in some dark room in a basement and ruin your life in 2 minutes. And I think it's the most, and the school boards are all talking about bullying, anti-bullying, how to do this, how to do that. There is no solution to it. There isn't. I mean, they could pass all the internet laws in the world. This stuff's going to continue. And I read a thing last week about how AI, the technology officer for Google, said he wouldn't have kids today because of AI. How frightening it is and how far it's going. And I'm lucky enough that I'm from a generation where we have our foot in both worlds. But, my left foot's in the old world, and I am so grateful for that. You would not believe it.
When
Is that
so
one of those pauses you talked about? Is that one of those pauses you want to know?
Oh man. Okay. I think make sure your connection is good because you look like you're getting AI distorted. Is this the real Mike Bullard?
That's me. You think somebody would have plastic surgery to look like this?
There's going to be videos after this that'll be like, look, he's actually a reptilian. Watch what happens when it slows down. When we talk about male insecurities versus, how females deal with insecurities, how do you think men deal with self-conscious issues? Because I don't know, I just in case, because the whole point is I don't even know if you're allowed to anymore, but just in case they want to comment on my hair, but don't feel it's appropriate, I'm just letting everyone know, anyone wants to comment on my hair ever, you always can. But I just came from Evoke Salon with Jerry, who is amazing, and they're one of the sponsors for my show. And anyhow, he was talking about how he was out with a bunch of friends from high school. It was one of our high school graduations last night. And there was 4 of them in the car that used to go to school together. And anyhow, he said the biggest conversation, he got picked on because Jerry still has his hair and the other 3 don't. And he actually ended up being a target because one of the gentlemen was very self-conscious that he had lost his hair. So is this something that you feel you're self-conscious about, or you ever were self-conscious about? And how do men deal with these things? Do they, or do they just like pick on each other?
Depends on the generation, I mean, you look at some of these guys today and there's some scary guys out there in their 20s and 30s. This incel movement, this thing to me is the most frightening thing that's out there right now. These involuntarily celibate guys who drive a van down Yonge Street or drive into a crowd in California hoping to kill women. When I was in high school, we were involuntarily celibate. You know what you did? You didn't get behind the wheel of a van. You turned on the charm factor. And you tried to figure out a way to get a girl to voluntarily make you non-celibate. And that's something else that's gone now. And by the way, when it came to my generation, we would have loved it if we found women who made more than we did, who had better jobs than we did, who were better educated than we were, because we had the confidence to know we had other things to give to the relationship. Now, I feel sorry for women in their 30s and 40s because they are better educated than their male counterparts. And oftentimes they make more money than they do. And these guys can't seem to be able to handle it.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's what I'm talking about with self-conscious? Does it change what it means to be a man? Is that the issue? Is that we are looking for what this new earth, new man looks like? Is that what's going on?
I don't know what kind of pressure women put on men now. I don't know. I don't feel any. And I've often said, and this is true, a toxic male is not an alpha male. An alpha male is who you call when you want to get rid of a toxic male. And to have the two lumped together has not been a very fair thing in the past 10 years. But to me, the solution, I don't know. I don't care who you are if you're a woman. I don't care what you do. I don't care, what walk of life you come from. You want to feel safe.
The interesting thing is, I just want to say about the alpha male. I feel like we're lifting off right now. We got some like reverberation going on. If we lift off, then just hold on to everyone's seats. Anyhow, the interesting thing is, I definitely would say you classify yourself as an alpha male. And interesting enough,
I don't classify myself as anything, Michelle. I go through constant
I would
evolution.
classify you as someone who states themselves as generally an alpha male. But I am saying, so when many years ago when I met you, I never watched TV, and I was with a backpack, probably stoned somewhere in a country. Full disclosure. So the point is, I finally watched your stuff, Mike. Okay, so I watched a whole bunch of episodes, so I know all about you now. But the interesting thing is, you've called yourself an everyman's man, but you have been very comfortable with your sexuality. Like even when you were speaking out in regards to, the initiating of Pride Month and homosexuality issues, you had done, I think it was a benefit, but you were very open about speaking about your sexuality, and you weren't concerned about what anyone thought. I think that probably comes from the fact that you're very solid in who you are and who you are as a man. Do you think that's true?
Yeah. And but as far as LGBTQ goes, I believe in live and let live. And I always have. But that better include me. Well, I'm not apologizing for being a white hat.
I watched the episode where you went in the one of the first parades and you're waving from your car.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm not able to go on to the next part of your set on that one. Can you remember a time that you felt like you were your best and you were on fire? That you looked your best and you felt your best? What moment was that? Or
last weekend in Ottawa, and probably tomorrow evening in Midland.
So when you're on stage, you're on fire.
I just I've never felt healthier than I am now. I weigh about 2 pounds more than when I played high school football, and I feel really good, and I feel I feel really sharp. I don't, I've been a voracious reader my whole life, been a student of history, and I feel like all that stuff pays off for me as I get older. The thing I didn't have then was wisdom, and you got it now.
Do you?
I look at what's going on now. Yesterday, Bell Media laid off another 1,200, or Bell. And I saw this coming for a long time. And the day that Bell and Rogers were allowed in the TV and radio business was a dark day for everybody who was in it. And I've been pretty blunt about it. And some people think I was too blunt about it when I had the show and when I was doing radio. I was at a Bell station and they wanted me to make up a depression story about Bell Let's Talk Day. And I wouldn't do it. Other people did. I wouldn't do it. There's no way I was doing it.
Has there ever been a time, though, that you did feel depressed?
Yeah, but to me, it was extremely temporary. And what I wasn't going to do was a melodramatic story to help promote that thing.
Yeah, no, that's called integrity. That's called integrity. So kudos.
I've always, even when I worked there for 20 years before I went to TV. It's like they followed me everywhere I went. Every time I turned around, they bought wherever I was. They bought CTV when I was there. Then they bought News Talk 1010 when I was there. And I felt like they were following me everywhere, but I never
bringing it back to you and out of the nasty corporations, because I can get going on corporations, but bringing it back to you when you said it's temporary. So when you're not feeling your best self, what are the things you do to bring yourself out of that?
Exercise. And I find sex is an excellent antidepressant.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
it sets out endorphins. So yeah,
Yeah.
that actually
Um,
changed the chemistry.
Here's what you ought to know.
You
Masturbation.
get depressed and then you're like, okay, I need to bang or
Yeah. Masturbation's a depressant. Sex is an antidepressant.
So who taught you that in your life?
Taught myself. And when I was 19, I lost my virginity to a 42-year-old woman. And I suppose, in today's times, she would be considered a sicko. But back then, it was the sweetest thing that could
And
ever
then
happen.
you just never left the 40s.
Not for a long time. Not for a long time.
So, generally, you have to watch yourself a lot. Over the years, you've had to watch yourself a lot on TV and videos. Do you ever get uncomfortable?
I've been comfortable because I didn't watch. I've been comfortable because I didn't listen. I had no reason to. I have a fantastic memory. I know what happened when I did it, and I don't see the need to watch it again. Now, that being said, a lot of people have found clips and put them out on Twitter and Facebook and sent them to me, and I've enjoyed them because I hadn't thought about them for a long time. But no, I never watched anything in its entirety, nor did I ever listen to an entire radio show or anything. I just didn't believe in doing it. I wasn't from the Letterman school where you go into your office immediately after and watch the show and beat yourself up, like beat the shit out of yourself over what you did. Because it's done, you can't do anything about it. And I'm not really a sentimental person anyway. So for me, I just never saw the need to do it.
So you've had a somewhat of a roller coaster, like if we go back from the 90s to now.
Yeah.
And as you said, Ukraine, you felt like you came out as a new person. What is
I didn't really come out, I didn't come out as a new person. I came out as the man I was way back when, and the man I always knew I was supposed to be.
And who's that?
Somebody who cannot tolerate bullies, cannot tolerate injustice. And when you're in Canadian television and radio, it's pretty tough to do anything about that stuff. But when I was there, I was able to do it.
So when you were in the industry, you felt you could push the boundaries. I
tried, but it didn't always work. And my father was a great man, and he stood up for a lot of people. And I remember the first time I got promoted at Bell, he took me out for lunch, and he said to me, what you've done here is amazing. He said, I'm really proud of you. But if you're not prepared to go to the wall for the little people who work for you, don't take this job. He said, you have to go to the wall for people who can't fend for themselves, who do a good job. And the key was they do a good job. And I never forgot him saying that to me. I never forgot it. And I never got into the management is the enemy of union thing, because I had a mentor there, Bob Smith, who said to me once, you can't have strong management without a strong union. Because if you don't have a strong union, what you get is any idiot in a suit who can bully his way into management. When you have strong unions, you have to have strong, smart management. And it was proven correct a million times over when I was there. Now the situation is completely different.
So taking that into just someone's general day, what do you think that looks like for them? What piece of wisdom is that?
I think what it is, if nobody bit their tongue, nobody would have to. You know what I mean? You want to be some corporate lackey who cruises to the top. And by the way, there's a lot of millennial men out there who are that. And I think one of the problems with big companies today is you got millennial men running them.
What is the millennial man? Can you expand on that?
Somebody who was born around 1980? I mean, these guys who are 43, 44.
Everyone's going to be shutting the videos off in here.
These guys are 43, these guys are 43, 44 years old. The guy running Bell, one of the guys running Rogers, guy running Loblaws. They don't, they don't care about the people who work with them. They don't care about them. And it's also gotten to the point now where they don't care about the customer. I try calling Bell with a problem and see how far you get. When I was there, you were measured by customer satisfaction, and you got paid based on customer satisfaction. And I'm not kidding around about it. At the end of the year, some of
I
your
think I got to change this episode to the Better Business podcast.
Yeah, what the hell? You told me you wanted to talk about beauty stuff.
Yeah, no,
you start talking about stuff. You start talking about stuff. I'm not going to shut up about it.
Okay, I want to talk about if there is one product or one activity that you need to do during your day to keep yourself in
I'm glad you brought that up because you're not going to like this one either.
Okay, well, let's just have it.
I start my day with a Slim Fast, ice cold bottle of Slim Fast that I pour into a blender. Then I add frozen wild blueberries, and in deference to you, a tiny little scoop of collagen powder. That's how I start my day every single day. Or
that's awesome.
If not that, then I have steel cut oatmeal, which I take like half an hour to do in a pot. I don't like instant oatmeal.
I think there's been a paradigm shift. Do you want to know how I start my morning? Last year, I started protein powder because I wasn't getting enough protein, which you really need in regards to managing body and skin. And I put a cup of blueberries in, a quarter cup of powdered steel cut oats, Greek yogurt because it's high in protein, and a banana, and I blend all that up, and then that's my morning. And a collagen. I put collagen in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say,
maybe you're onto something. It's got to be in the air then.
My family's Irish. My family's Irish, and oatmeal does not belong in a blender. Leave the oatmeal out.
It works. So is there anything that you bring forth from your Irish background, do you feel, in terms of how you care for self?
Well, used to be. Well, if your family's Irish, how you care for yourself is a bottle of rye or 12 beers every day. So no. The other thing is, bread was the king in my house. Whether it was toast in the morning, sandwiches, French toast, you name it. My grandmother and my mother made it all. So the big thing for me was getting off the bread. The only time I have bread now is when I go to the cake, because I can't resist that loaf of bread they bring out, which is freshly baked every time. But no, not really. I mean, there's nothing I brought to my life from family heritage. Not really.
Except the charm,
other than
the Irish charm.
Yeah, and not keeping your mouth shut when you see something. Not keeping your mouth shut. I'll tell you, go ahead.
Historically, did the Irish when it comes to integrity and fighting a good battle, what are the Irish known for? I know that's kind of a dumb question with the whole.
They're known for turning on each other in that country and losing everything over and over and over again.
Well,
if they could unite themselves, the old joke, right?
No.
If it hadn't been for alcohol, Ireland would be a world power. Had it not been for the invention of alcohol, Ireland would be a world power.
So what we have to learn from the Irish is limit or don't drink, and unified, stick together, or you'll lose the battle. Do you know the Finns don't lose? Do you know the Finns are a small country, and we don't, like the Finnish background? When you go to war, you don't lose. Did
you see that movie Sisu that was just out? Sisu?
No, Sisu. I gotta watch that. It'll give me some motivation.
It's on Prime now. It's A guy gets kicked out of the Finnish army during World War II because he's too scary. Even the soldiers he works with are afraid of him. He serves with, and he goes to become a gold miner. And then the Nazis are retreating out of Finland, and they make the mistake of tangling with the guy. It's one of the greatest adrenaline-filled films. It's like Inglourious Bastards on crack.
Oh my God. I have to put that up on the big projector at our cam hall right now. Give everyone some motivation. Remind everyone the sea suit is strong.
Unbelievable. It's
Okay.
unbelievable.
So
it's a great film.
before we move on to Guess That Chemical podcast game, is there anything that you want to leave our community with, a thought that's important to you?
I'm sorry, what's your community, Michelle? Tell me what the community is.
Our community up here in the sticks, and also the Eco Parent podcast. It's the Eco Parent podcast, so we may edit some things out. But is there anything when it comes to life wisdom that you have learned through the ups and downs and the recreating self that you think is important for people to keep in mind, even when things are tough?
If you're going to say the things people don't want to hear, make sure they'll benefit from it.
Oh,
otherwise it's pointless.
That's a good one. That's really good. Is there anything you're doing right now that's current or upcoming that you want others to know about?
Well, you'll be happy about this. I just shot a pilot for APTN, even though I'm not native.
Tell us about the pilot.
I'm going to be going to 8 different yucks doing comedy shows, and I'm putting a native comic on every show.
That's amazing.
I'll be hosting all the shows.
You know what? That is very cool. And I want to make sure to send me that information so I can post about that, because that is absolutely awesome. So we are going to move on to Guess That Chemical. So we take products from our guests. And today we have Mike Bullard, Canadian stand-up comedian, and he was amazing enough to send us some of his products so that we could put them into Guess That Chemical.
I left one out.
It's too late. You can't put it in.
Well, here, let me just look at it. Look, it's my absolute favorite shower gel.
You know what? Can you read those ingredients to us, Mike, on the back? Just read them quickly. Can you? Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm so sorry.
You know what? It's kind of small. I can't read it. It's Irish Spring shower gel.
I could probably look it up quick. Irish Spring shower gel. So we'll be here.
Oh, it's imported. It must be good. It's imported.
Irish Spring, which is worse. Shower gel ingredients.
Yeah, this stuff's been around for like 60 years, Michelle. It must be good.
Yeah. So we have here we go. Here it is. Water, sodium lauryl sulfate, just at the top. Cocamidopropyl betaine, fragrance, sodium chloride, cocamide MEA, sodium salicylate, sodium
these ingredients are making me very hungry.
Polyquaternium 7, tetrasodium EDTA, FD and C green number 3, and FD and C yellow number 5. And I can tell you, you should Google those since you are interested in being an educated Renaissance man, because pretty much every one of them has an issue. So we took care of that one right off the top. We're going to move on to the ones that you sent to me. So are you ready, Mike? Because you may win a gift. You might win. I mean, you're just up against yourself, but I'm ready. You may not win. Okay. So we are using ingredients.
Yeah.
And the products you sent and product names that you sent. Okay. For these questions. So you're ready?
Yeah.
So first up is methylchloroisothiazolinone is an ingredient that can cause organ system toxicity, allergies, and is neurotoxic. Which of these products contains methylchloroisothiazolinone? A.
St.
A.
Ives facial scrub.
A. Dove Men Care Hydrate Face Lotion. B. St. Ives Fresh Skin Apricot Scrub. Or C. Dove Shampoo and Conditioner for Men. Or D. All of the above.
I'm going to go with all of the above.
You are correct. Do you know what
By the way, I'm not eating this crap.
Well, but the problem
in order to cause organ failure, I have to eat it.
It's accumulation, and what happens is lobbyists may even say it's only 1%. When you're using this stuff once, twice a day, it is accumulative over the years. And neurotoxicity, do you know what that means?
I imagine it's going to affect my brain, isn't it?
It kills your neurons. So your nerve cells, which are important, just so in case you didn't know this, they transmit information and signals. So you got that one right, though. Good job. Okay, we're moving on.
The fact that I got it right tells me it's not affecting me so far.
Well, I would beg to differ, but I'm supposed to be polite right now.
Okay.
By
the way, good luck.
What happened there? You got there's nothing. There's no take on that one. No. Okay.
I just good luck getting any of these people.
Is one of your guests. Pardon?
Good luck getting any of these people as sponsors now, Michelle.
2, this company has been involved in 2 noteworthy lawsuits about their products. One of these lawsuits alleges the company's brand of, quote, natural skin and body care products contain a number of synthetic and harmful ingredients. Can I read them out first?
Sure.
Okay. A, Dove Men Care Hydrate Face Lotion. B, St. Ives. C, The Body Shop.
The Body Shop?
I put 3 in there, and one of these has been involved in 2 major lawsuits.
I say it's Dove.
St. Ives.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know about that? It was like literally all over the place.
The word saint is in the name.
Right. Just like natural or clean or pure. Pure can be the name. It doesn't mean that it's pure. So Unilever and Conopco are the defendants in a proposed class action lawsuit that alleges the company's St. Ives brand of natural skin and body care products contain a number of synthetic ingredients. So according to the complaint, it says it's 100% natural, but it's not. You can read your ingredients, including phenoxyl ethanol, dimethicone, sodium lauryl sulfate, and what we had just mentioned was the methylisothiazolinone. So it's not natural. But the other one, I thought you'd be interested in, it was thrown out, but there was a lawsuit because it was claimed, which you have to be careful about scrubs. So a lot of people like to scrub their face, right? Because they feel like it's clean, but you have to be careful what you scrub with. And the St. Ives has walnut powder, and you think that it's smooth, but it actually has jagged edges. And when you put that on your face and you're scrubbing it, it opens up micro tears and it can create infection. But in the long term, it can damage the skin, weaken it. And obviously that brings in fine lines and wrinkles. So really the best thing to scrub with is oatmeal. That's it. All these years, everyone asks me, what do I exfoliate with? And literally powdered oatmeal is the best to put on your skin. It's soft and it doesn't tear.
Does it matter if it's maple brown sugar?
Sugar, I would see for your skin, it's fragile. You don't want to put
No, I
sugar
mean,
in either.
my favorite flavor of oatmeal is maple brown sugar. In case any of it gets in my mouth, is it okay to use?
No, you want to use natural. I know that's a joke, but I'm letting you know. Natural.
All right.
Okay. So
And
this is third.
I knew you knew it was a joke based on your cold reaction. Okay, go ahead.
My kids, they do. They're like, I don't have the sense of humor gene, but apparently you have to be incredibly intelligent to also have a sense of humor. Did you know that?
Yeah, you're not stupid.
But I don't have a sense of humor either. Goes right out, right. Do you know how much that's good for me in life, though? Someone will say something, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't get it. Carry on.
Excuse
on.
me. But don't you,
pardon?
somewhere back there, you have German ancestors, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Germanic from Liechtenstein or something like that.
Yeah, that's why you have no sense of humor. Relax. They were big on sight gags in the 20th century.
Wait until the other Michael joins us on the local rant, because he's going to tear you apart on so many factors. It's very humorous. Okay, number 3, because we have 3. This ingredient may contain over 3,000 chemicals linked to cancer, developmental reproductive toxicity, violations, restrictions and warnings, allergies, immunotoxicity, neurotoxicity, endocrine disruptions, bioaccumulation, and biochemical or cellular level changes. Due to trade secrets, the chemicals associated with this ingredient are hidden most of the time. So is it A, PPG2 methyl ether, B, sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, C, fragrance or perfume, or D, all of the above?
All of the above.
Meh.
Oh, which one?
Want to try again?
Perfume.
Yes. Anything that says perfume or fragrance, which is in all of the products you sent to me, including the one that you brought up on screen.
You know what? The last thing I need is to reproduce in my 60s, so I'm really glad about this.
Well, maybe it's because you've been using the cologne all these years, because I know your cologne is very important to you. Possibly it may have been a reproductive barrier as well.
Good. I don't think it would stand up.
Now, at least this is getting out to all the millennial men so they can reproduce.
Yes.
Right?
With each other.
So, Mike, we're going to say you won, okay?
Send me some of that hottie bomb.
Well, I'm going to send you. I will send. Did you hear that sound effect? There was some clapping. So I'm going to send you. Oh, can you see that? It's a Stop the Sag tea bag. It's a new product.
Right. New product from you?
Yeah. Stop the Sag.
Stop the sag, like sagging skin?
Well, yeah, because so there's different herbs in it, like cleavers and clover. And what it does is it strengthens the cells from the inside. So you drink like 1 to 3 cups of that a day, and it's creating strength internally. And then
can you rip open the bag and exfoliate your face with it?
No.
Oh, what a drag.
Oh, but you know what you can do? You know what you can do though? You can actually put it in a pot as if you're making tea. Let it cool, obviously. Okay. Yeah. And you can use that as a facial wash. And there's a lot of good herbs in it. See, you were right again. Yeah. Right on the ball. And I'm also get fresh soap. And the reason this is a good one for you is because there's oatmeal in it, which is a wonderful, soft exfoliant. So you don't have to use a chemically laden, destructive product like you showed originally on screen. So yeah, and obviously I'll send you some.
This is the kind of thing that makes me forgive you for how many bees you kill in your other products.
I use local farmers who love their bees. Do you know it's very important for them to care for their bees? Because if they lose bees, that's loss of profit. I don't actually use, pardon?
It also helps me forgive you for how many local farmers you kill and put in your products. Sorry, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's all coming out now. That's why I came back up to Northwestern Ontario. Never mind the bees. You know, I'm in hiding. So Michael, thank you so much.
Oh, Michelle, thank you.
Guess that chemical with us. Is there anything important that you felt you learned today?
Yeah, the oatmeal thing.
Oh, good.
I got some oatmeal here right now. Instant oatmeal I didn't want to eat. Now I'm going to use it to scrub my face right now.
And what you can do is add, if you do have raw honey, not pasteurized, you put like a tablespoon of raw honey in it, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, just a little bit to make the mixture. Put that on and then send us a picture because it works really well. 1,000 times better than anything you can buy. And guess what? It's going to be less than $4.95, which was the cost of the product that you were willing to pay for yourself.
Yeah, just get all this free stuff to me as quickly as possible, please.
Oh, I'll get right on it. I'm going to go to Canada Post right after this, but I can't promise what Canada Post will do, Mike.
All right, honey.
Okay.
So I know your kids probably don't remember, but tell them I said hi.
I will do that. So we have one more topic. You can stick with us if you like. It's on ticks.
I can't. I got to take off.
Okay. So then.
But I can't tell you how good it was. And also, you keep doing this because you're doing really well at it. I liked it a lot.
Really?
You've always been easy to talk. Yes. You've always been, I can't say you've been, getting a word in edgewise with you personally has always been difficult, but you acted like a consummate professional today. If people only talk to you on camera, they would enjoy you even more. There you go. All right.
Thank you so much for that, Mike. I'm going to put that in my back pocket and take it with me.
Honey, never interview people who know you really well. Okay.
Okay, you have a really good day and get some riding in.
Okay, see you, kids.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Sure you can leave, Mike? Do you know how? Okay.
Yes. Goodbye.
So we are still live.
Yeah.
And we are going to move on. See, Mike wants to leave, but he can't. Oh, he's still there. We're going to move on to the local rant.
I like that. I like the sound of that. The local rant.
With another Michael.
Well, it's Michelle, Michael, and Michael.
Do you know what Michael means?
It's the angel.
It is the archangel.
The blue sword.
Yeah. And maybe that's why justice integrity is so important to Mike, who's still with us.
Mike, how you doing?
Mike, we can see your head.
No, he's gone. He's here still?
He's still here. Okay, that's all right. We're going to move on. Yeah. Did you know Michael, though, means, and Michelle, they're the Hebrew version of, it means he who is close to God.
Oh.
And we have like 2 Michaels and a Michelle.
Yeah, this is a pretty close episode to go today.
And it was quite interesting that we brought up millennial German men.
Amen.
It's expected of that era, right?
I don't know.
Millennial German men. How do you feel about that? Because we have moved on to the local rant.
Yeah.
So for anyone joining us, this is our local rant.
Mm-hmm.
And this is topics that hit home. Oh, did we lose our screen?
No, it's all there.
Okay. So how do you feel about the millennial male?
I don't have a problem. I feel like it's like every generation has something they get picked on, right? It's like it's the ultimate, like, hey, I want to keep you busy, you don't want to strive for yourself. Get distracted. I'm born in 1984. I got 3 kids, right? Yeah, it's so cool. I don't listen to those kind of things, like the whole generation thing. You?
I think each generation has its strengths, and I do believe that we are shifting and evolving. We're growing, just like the earth ages and we age, and there's going to be changes in each one that I think that others don't understand outside of that shift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, softer, right? Everybody gets softer. Do you know what they say? Hard times create hard people. Soft times create soft people. I don't know that quote, but I think you know that one.
I don't actually know that quote, but I think that as most things, it's cyclical.
I don't know what that means.
So we go in cycles.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's and things aren't necessarily circular, but they're cyclical.
Like the ice age.
Exactly.
Right?
So,
winter and summer.
So it's cyclical. So things get a little bit soft and
we are a byproduct of our environment.
Yeah, I don't know, because you know what? I landed on Earth. But when I landed on Earth, I thought I'm going to get a van and I'm going to stay at the beach.
That's a good life.
And people would think that's soft, right?
No,
but you don't want to work and whatnot. But I honestly thought that's the way to go. And how interesting is it now that we are moving right into that, where people are realizing, wow, working from 9 to 5 for somebody else and paying a massive amount of tax and paying tax on my home and paying on this and paying on that. And maybe, living at the beach
doesn't sound so bad
in a van and meeting people. And so I'm almost coming full circle.
I get that. Are you selling your house?
Pardon?
No, you wouldn't.
Well, I'm in a debacle with Hydro One as we speak, correct?
Yeah.
That is that did not put any homes or private land into their criteria.
Yeah. And they dismissed your alternative route too, right? They
dismissed the alternative route and refused to look at the new alternative route, which technically they have to look at. So that's where we're at there. But I mean, regardless, my plan was always to be within that kind of farm homesteading thing, but to be able to take off my hashtag van life and head somewhere warm for like 3 months and hang out like
winter birds, right?
Yeah, just, a little bit like cooler and
Vancouver.
Van cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about ticks.
Yeah. Do you ever get bitten?
I have.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like some type of.
Have you seen how they bite?
Yes.
Have you seen the whole head goes under the skin?
Have you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're confessing something right now.
There's this guy who has out of randomly my feet that showed up, and he puts a tick on his arm. And then he zooms in on it before, and then the tick actually, you see how she goes.
He does that on purpose.
And then afterwards, the tick is 3 or 4 times that size, right? That grape, the red grape from Italy.
I'm so grossed out right now because you know what? I tree planted, and then I have spent a lot of time, in northern areas. And I have dealt with ticks, and I also have dealt with getting the bull's eye. So I didn't know there was a tick on me, and I let my dog crawl. She looks so sweet. And I was like, I don't want you in the bed. But then I felt guilty, and I thought, okay, you can come. And then she had a tick on her. And then I was not, you need to be calm. You need to be calm. You need to know it's not the end of the world. And you need to carefully take it out. That's not what I did. I saw it and I screamed. I did the whole and I ran into the washroom. I'm trying to get it off. Well, it didn't all come out because I was crazy.
Yeah, they had us in.
And then I did a bull's eye showed up relatively quickly.
What is that?
So that's how you know it had, you know what? I have the word for it here. Borrelia Berg Door Fairy.
Oh, the bite looks
so that's the bacterium. And actually they're little, they look like little screws. There's Spiro chets, and that's how the bacteria gets in. They screw into your skin surface and into your body. It is. So anyways, I got to the hospital and they gave me antibiotics.
Yeah, you can die from that, right?
Well, it's
an infection.
So it's Lyme disease.
Okay, it's Lyme disease.
Right. And that can be fever. It can be headache, chills.
Years later, too.
And it can show up years later. Well, that's what happened to me.
I talked to a guy today. Sorry. He was like telling me ticks and he got bitten and 2 years later his face went numb. And then,
that's what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's crazy.
And so there are the one thing I wanted to talk about though. Okay, well, first of all, I've been picking off a million, like it's been a lot. I don't know why they're attracted to me. It makes me really upset.
You smell good. That's what they say with mosquitoes, right? Sweet blood.
Maybe that's what it is. I eat too much honey, maybe. But the interesting thing is though, okay, so there's a bit of a dichotomy here that I'm going to talk about. But I've been picking off ticks, like we're out in camp and we've never had ticks like this ever. And I've just literally been, whether it's riding or whatever, I wasn't even rolling around in the field.
Am I safe here?
I think so. But actually, that's how my kids have been responding to me. It's not a joke. They're like, Mom, I don't know if you want me. I don't know if I want you to hug me. Did you do a tick check?
Oh, wow.
So tick checks are a big thing right now around our house. And then we were up north for a while where I was picking the ticks off. I was doing pretty good, but one did bite. It clamped in, but it didn't get all the way in, and it wasn't. So it's like a black-legged tick.
Yeah.
That is the one that is carrying the bacterium.
Okay.
So this one didn't look like that. And it was kind of just clamping in, and I found it. I was like, bugger. And this time I didn't freak out. Yeah. This time I very calmly made sure that, I took it by the butt, because what happens is if you squish it and you get angry and freak out, it can spew out.
Yes, they do that.
The bacteria. So you have to very gently take it off. So I did that. But but this is the problem. Everyone's freaked out, right? If you freak out, it does you lower your ability to respond in a way that your body is going to be kept healthy.
But it's human nature.
It's human nature.
Yeah, but if you know it, you can just approach it and say a couple deep breaths, right? Count till 10 and then look at it again.
Well, exactly. And so the one thing is you don't want them to be spitting more bacteria, but fear lowers your immune system. And that is really something important for people to be cognizant of. Humans are incredible beings. And when we go into a state of fear, your body actually cannot respond in a way that it's going to have its battalion ready to go.
Okay.
So that's one. And the other thing is that technically, if this is the amount of ticks we're dealing with, we should be.
Have you seen how they lay eggs? Have you seen it?
No, I don't want to.
They're full of blood. And then they go in the corner somewhere and then thousands of eggs. It's crazy. I gotta send you that TikTok video.
Oh God. You know what? Do you want to know? I really noticed something about myself. I don't think it's just age. I think I've always been like this. Someone will send something to me and I am so disciplined. I'll be like, yeah, no, I don't need that in my space. The kids would be like, watch this, Mom. And I'm like, you know what?
Check this out.
I don't need to.
No, you don't do that anymore? You say no now?
My reality. I think I've always done it though. I'm just more cognizant. Nope. Okay. I'm like, nope, I don't need that one. Okay. I don't want to know. Yeah. But I don't know if that's ignorant bliss then or not.
I don't know.
But what we need to start doing, and this is where it's not just doom and gloom. It's not like, I'm never going in the forest again, because being in the woods and connecting with nature is absolutely imperative to our health as humans.
Correct.
Very important. And even when you're taking your shoes off and walking around, I don't know if you know this. Do you know about rubber soles on shoes and what it does?
It makes you feel comfortable?
No, it actually blocks the electromagnetic exchange between the planet Earth and your body.
Okay. What are you wearing?
Well, right now I'm wearing Converse with the rubber sole, but anyways,
I'm wearing safety boots.
Taking your shoes off and walking on the ground can actually reduce inflammation almost immediately.
Have you read that book, Walkabout? Is it Walkabout? Where the woman goes to Australia and she joins the indigenous people there, and they don't wear shoes, right?
Okay.
And like she does that too, and it's not easy for her, and she gets hurt very much. But then after a while, the human body just adjusts, and she doesn't wear shoes, and she can just walk over anything.
I didn't ask, did you ever have a tick on you?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I was in grade 3 or 4, and we were after sport. I took my shirt off, and I was sitting right here. I was already in there. So I don't know how in Germany. This is very old, right? A millennium. So years ago, they put glue on it, like liquid glue.
So this was in Germany.
To suffocate it. Yeah. So this is not correct by any means. Don't ever do this. And then
don't ever do this at home. It's only in Germany.
And then they had the tool that you can buy for dogs too. It's just like this, and you push a button, it opens, and then it closes, and you put it right around the neck, and it's just.
Is that like German ingenuity?
You have that too in Canada. And then they pull it out, and I was like, okay, cool.
And that was it.
Yes, that's it.
So they put glue on it to suffocate it.
Yeah, because they thought, I don't know.
Maybe it does. Maybe maybe the tick goes like, right? It's glued.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Protesters use it too. I have no idea.
So you didn't freak out running around calling fire. Oh my God. I woke up the whole house. I freaked out.
The dogs always had it. And then they drop down and you like, I've never stepped on one. Have you stepped on one? Like when it was full?
No.
Good.
You're really into the blood and gore of the ticks.
You want to talk about ticks? That's what it is.
I think this is also one of those conversations where it's like.
We just had another one.
Yeah.
My wife, Lisa.
Yeah.
I love you. And then our 3 kids, we went to the flat tunnel, right?
Okay.
We drove out there, not realizing it's private property now, owned by a corporation, and you can't get out there with a day pass. Like that's trespassing. So
really?
they changed that. So we just parked, and then we read the signs, and we turned around back into the car. By the time we got home, Lisa had a tick on her. And we were out like 5 minutes, just like, and back.
And was it in?
No, she caught it, and then she gave it to me, and then I took it down, because if you put them down the toilet, they survive.
Yeah.
They're vampires.
Yeah.
So I just squished it.
What was that movie Tick? I didn't watch it.
Like Mike knows. I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's about a superhero tick, which makes sense because they're indestructible. I think that's probably what they were thinking when they wrote that script.
Are you itchy right now?
No, I've been picking off ticks. I have become immune from I've been picking them off. Okay. And so that's
how bad it is out there.
Oh my God. And then when we went further up north, yeah, it was bad. But this is what I want people to understand. Instead of going to like, never walking barefoot or communing with nature again, what you can prepare for tick season.
Yeah. Let me guess. Dress lightly, like bright colors, put your socks in your pants, long sleeve. That's all.
Loose, but it's what you eat.
Oh.
So the thing is, there are foods you can consume prior. So this is a preparatory thing. Garlic is one of them. Nice. Yes. And also we have onions.
Okay. Sources
of vitamin B1. So thiamine. So you can get thiamine in a isolated form. Mm-hmm. Or tuna, tomatoes, sunflower seeds, asparagus.
Oh yeah.
I brought asparagus to the bush with me.
Like greens?
Why so much asparagus? I'm like, it's my tick protocol.
Yeah.
And greens. And basically what it does is it alters the body chemistry. Mm-hmm. And that when the tick's crawling on you, they may be less likely to bite. So like, I don't want to bite that.
Yeah.
So I'm
like
wondering,
dark chocolate and like milk chocolate.
So, and when you think about all of the tick, it's so gross. So gross. All the ticks that have been on me in the last month. I don't know what frequency I'm putting out, but it's like all these.
Are you afraid?
Are attacked. Like,
are you afraid?
Pardon?
Are you afraid?
No. Not anymore. Well, I don't think I'm just walking around doing my thing. Oh, tick. And then it's not like spruce bugs. Like, it's like I had some strange illuminating light and like all these insects are coming. It's so gross. Anyhow, I think I moved past it, but there has been many ticks on me. And the interesting thing is, even when that little one was starting to clamp on, I found it before so I was able to move through that. And I am thinking, because I have been eating garlic all year, and actually a lot of things on this list I'm consuming, and I have been consuming for their anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if I've been through like the tick war zone and I made it out because I've already been putting these things into my diet.
Yeah.
The other thing to think about, so it's diet. You kind of go through your 4 pillars of health, right?
All right.
Sleep. And so we think, okay, we can only pop a pill and it's going to take care of it, but that's not the point. It's your body in general. This is an immune response to a bacteria that is coming into your body. Right. And you do have the ability to put up a good wall against it entering, right? So sleep is really important.
How much?
Well, you should be getting your
6 hours,
7 to 8 hours a night. It depends on age, right?
Yeah. Plus, if you have kids.
Yeah. See, I didn't sleep for 20 years.
Yeah, me neither.
At first, I didn't sleep before I had kids because I was a teenager and I was AWOL, right? and traveling around with a backpack and generally being disruptive. And then I went from that to having kids. And I had 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I haven't slept
forever.
I haven't slept.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only, I think maybe not this year. I would say even the 16-year-old picking him up on Saturday night.
Yeah. What we don't do as parents, right? And mothers too, specifically.
But sleep, I've been trying, because I'm also a night person. So I've been really trying to go to bed, and I've been doing much better with a regimen, because sleep is imperative to your immune response.
Correct.
And the other thing with sleep, and these are the things that are your preparatory tick protocol, is also to reduce sugar, especially if you get any type of little bite or anything. Okay. You need to reduce sugar, because do you know what sugar does?
Sugar gives you energy.
It causes inflammation in the body.
Yeah, too much sugar.
Well, any sugar, once you consume sugar, what happens? So, and this is for any viral issues or bacteria. So once you consume sugar, even like a teaspoon,
insulin goes up.
Your body has to work to reduce the inflammation that bit of sugar is creating in the body. So instead of all the resources taking care of all the things we come into contact,
that's a good explanation.
It's actually moved on to attempting to take care of the rising insulin and the issue, the extra inflammation in the body, right? Because the human body is doing all kinds of things at once.
I know.
So when we're worried about bacteria or anything else in our environment, if we're very concerned, it's again going back to, how do I make sure my body is in proper shape in order to combat what may be coming in?
That's point 3.
It's
working out.
Well, exercise is important as well.
Good.
Right. But the sugar one almost trumps even the exercise. Sugar is a big one we don't realize, and it's in a lot of our foods. It's in a lot of drinks, and that is reducing your immune function on a regular daily basis.
I know. It will catch up with you too.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was,
no, ketchup is only sugar. That's why I said ketchup. It will catch up with you. Ketchup.
Is ketchup only sugar? They don't put any tomato sauce?
A little bit. That's
and
why
dye.
Tastes so good. That's why nobody likes mayonnaise. There's no sugar in it.
Oh, really? See, I have Finn and French Canadian issues, and Durant. You know what? I am just a
you like
global citizen, I guess. I've got a little bit of everything there, but my biggest quality of French Canadian heritage is mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
So mayo.
I like how you say that. Say that
mayonnaise.
That's so good.
Mayonnaise.
Oh yeah.
Mayonnaise. I'm gonna get a mayonnaise sponsor next.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise. Like on everything. It's not good. It is actually one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah, it's fat.
Yeah. And it's not really good. If you knew how it's made, nobody'd be eating it.
Okay.
There's alternatives that are probably better.
I thought it was made. It's canola oil. Yeah, I know how canola oil is made. I'll look that up.
So I don't canola. I hate canola. No, canola is so bad. Okay. You know what? That was a rant. That's actually a local rant. If everyone starts to look at what oils are on their shelves, and all of a sudden I walked into an unnamed store at this point in time, unless they do take it off and then they will not become unnamed. It was all canola. Yeah. And our canola seeds have been so severely harmed in terms of their health for the human. And so there's a few oils that I will buy and I will not buy canola. And the whole shelf was canola. And actually, this just does go back into our tick conversation because these oils create inflammation in the body.
It's true.
So eating clean is one of the first things you need to do. If you're actually worried about ticks, you're worried about anything, you got to eat clean.
Okay.
And when they take good oils off the shelf, it makes it much more difficult to eat clean. And maybe, is it calculated? I don't know, but people need to use their voices and say, I don't like the fact that whole shelf has canola. I don't have canola and I'm a customer here and I spend a lot of money buying groceries. I would appreciate that you keep healthy, clean oils on the shelf. So
yeah,
I am that person. It's all right.
You call people out.
I do. So we need to, the other thing I want to talk about is your herbs, because we have a lot of herbs that you can buy at your health food store, or technically you could even pick if they don't have chemicals and any type of, defoliants on them.
100%.
Yeah. As just to throw it in there, Hydro One puts a lot of defoliants on their lines. Lots of people still wildcraft and lots of people still forage. Our family forages, you put chemicals on them. They're not healthy to eat. And they can't control where those defoliants go. So they go into your crops, they go into your field. So when I say you can get herbs out of the ground, absolutely you can. You just have to make sure the spaces are clean and free of chemicals and defoliants.
You know what we did in Germany? We built a herb spiral in our backyard. So
what is a herb spiral?
So we got stones and then we built an actual spiral, just like a sea creature too, like the leftover thing. So it's like the same kind of geometric design. And then because each herb has a specific area where it grows the best, close to the ground, a little bit high or whatever. And then we had herbs fresh all the time.
And also, you know what? Cultures used to do that to tell the time and the season, because herbs would come up at certain, it's called a sundial herbal,
something like that.
Yeah. And so that is so interesting. And I really wish I could do that for myself. I think I am going to curate patience as I grow older. Okay. I am going to do it because that is an amazing thing.
You are doing. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Are you into edible flowers?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. And I'm learning more all the time. I feel like I am really a little bit overactive and hyper.
Okay.
And you need to be able to learn to sit and contemplate and learn. And I am a good reader when I give myself structure to read. But generally up until this genre of my age, it's like if I get a chance and I don't have kids or I'm not serving someone, I'm out the door, I'm on my bike or I'm doing something, like I'm a physical person, right?
I know what you mean.
So learning to take that back and sit and contemplate on these things that are so very important. And it's old knowledge. You need to be able to sit with yourself and be quiet and read and learn.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bit better.
I like that. I like that.
A couple of the herbs that are really interesting that are good for your tick protocol is cat's claw and astragalus.
That sounds like it's spelled from Harry Potter. Astragalus.
It's unscripted, and I think we both realize we're incredible nerds now.
So good. I love life shows.
So both of them, again, they're anti-inflammatory, right? So they're reducing the immune response. Cat's claw, actually, there is documentation that it's a certain cell receptor 57. Yeah, CD57. So actually, cat's claw. See, I didn't have to read.
Amazing.
Well, I just want to make sure but it's been studied in regards to Lyme disease. So specifically for Lyme disease, it can disrupt the ability for the spirojets or the bacterium to connect with the cell.
Wow.
So they actually have studies on that. So
That's
cat's
awesome.
claw is a great one. And cat's claw for most people, everyone always has to do their homework. You have to do your homework, make sure the herbs are right for you, right? Because some of them, if you have liver issues or if you have a heart problem, what can happen is, maybe the herbs can either cause hypertension or hypotension, and you want to read and make sure there is no counterindications. And you can literally just go online, write in cat's claw and say counterindications, and it will come up. They'll say, don't use this if you have this or that. Generally, these ones though are pretty good for most people.
It's like raspberry tea induces giving birth.
Exactly.
And
so
some people don't know that.
They don't know that.
Right.
So that's why you want to make sure. And that is such a good example that you do your homework.
Yes.
So cat's claw, you could be having, all the way up to tick season, a couple cups a day. Astragalus. So what astragalus is a nutrient. So it nourishes the body.
Okay.
And often when we get sick and people give you chicken noodle soup, they'll be like, oh, that's just like a, what's the placebo? But it's not, because it's nourishing the body. And if you nourish the body, again, what happens? Your battalion can go up to battle.
That's right.
Because they're nourishing themselves on they are at full steam, right?
They've had a good meal. From defense to attack.
Exactly. I feel like now we're gone into like war mode. Bring out the cat's claw.
Yes.
So,
what a name too.
And
it's like Wolverine.
Same thing, helps with the immune system, but you want to be having that all the way up to tick season. Because once you actually get ill, that's kind of the time you're not going to be using astragalus. It's something you want to have as a preempt.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, if you should get bit, right? I am not saying if you can't get to the hospital immediately,
right.
And you don't have to freak out, but if you can't get to the hospital within the 48 hours, there are some things you can do. And besides that, you can do it right away. You can, if you're out in the bush and you're like, I take a little like, fanny pack, or you can carry it in your car, your camper.
Yeah.
You can carry some of these things with you, the cat's
pack.
claw and whatnot. Okay, so there's a few that you should have in your safety kit or your tick protocol.
Listen up, everybody.
One is oregano oil. Thyme is also very good. And this one is the one that, and I gotta, because everybody understands how I cannot pronounce anything. It's andrographis. So it is from South America.
Okay.
And so these ones, what you can do with those oils, and again, with the oregano oil and the thyme, maybe not in any fragile skin zones. You may not want to be putting olive oil oregano oil. It will burn.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you remove the tick and you actually take the oil and you put it into the bite. I feel like I want to show everyone my bite mark. I'm not going to. It did heal. I was a little concerned, but no bullseye showed up and I did get it out early and I think I got everything out.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I immediately put this tincture.
Can you see this?
Yeah. I put that into, because I didn't have oregano oil with me. I had this one, andrographis. And anyhow, I put that immediately onto the bite mark where the tick was, because what happens is it actually will stop those little spirojets, the little bacteria, from going in.
It kills them?
It kills them.
Okay.
So whether it's oregano oil or the andrographis or your thyme oil, I would suggest the oregano oil or the andrographis over the thyme. But you can put that immediately, put it on the tick bite. and rub it in because it'll kill the bacteria on the surface because they still have to crawl in. They screw themselves in.
You give them some oregano. Oregano. You see, I pronounce it differently. What did you say?
Origami?
Oregano?
You make a little duck for your chicken.
Is that the same herb you put on pizza on cheese or pasta?
Oregano.
Yeah, right.
Origami.
Wow, you're good. I'm testing you with everything. Showing everything at you.
Oh yeah, Italians eat a lot of oregano. It is.
I love it.
Yeah, people should study that one. It's a bit medicinal one. It's an acute medicine. It's an emergency one. Like you want to have oregano oil, and especially any viral issues, bacteria. Again, it is one of the ones that can kill it. And internally, you can, internally take it. Yeah. So with this one, what I did immediately was I put it on the wound, but then I also took 20 to 40 drops.
Wow.
As soon as I got bit.
Okay.
And I seem to be fine.
Yes, that's confirmed.
I didn't keep the tick. I was out camping and I just I squished it really well. And anyways, maybe I wasn't having respect. I should have had more respect for the, ticks have feelings too. Do they?
Maybe.
Do they?
They know when you watch them on TikTok.
Ticks have feelings. There's going to be some infomercial that comes out after that says
TikTok.
Ticks are going to be like, we're not happy with the way we're being treated in the community.
I don't know.
So is there anything else that you have questions about in regards to tick care? So, I mean, those are some of the main points, right?
Yeah, I think that really important how you pointed out, don't panic, ask for help. If you have it removed, save it and put it in a glass box and bring it to the health unit if you're concerned. Here in Thunder Bay Health Unit does that, right? I think
I kept, so when I got bit I was in the Thunder Bay area, I kept it and I brought it to the emergency with me. Okay. And they did take it.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. So I think that's really the way to go. And like this list, I need a copy of that with the ingredients in my first aid pack.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is important step. And the point is, it's not doom and gloom. You don't panic just because. And the other thing is ticks have to crawl on you for quite a while. So if you're doing your tick checks every couple hours, really, when you're out in the bush, you want to be checking every couple hours because it takes them a while to actually chomp in.
Yeah. Get to where they want.
So, I mean, that's your first defense, right? And well, actually your first defense is sleep, no sugar, eat the list. The garlic, the onions, what else did we say? The B12, thiamine, your leafy greens and asparagus.
Green or white, doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters, but yeah, I don't know if my household does not like me right now. Can you imagine? I smell like garlic and I'm eating asparagus all the time. So
good.
I am so serious about this tick issue.
Asparagus season.
So do you know how long the tick season lasts? Because I didn't look that part up.
It started really early. We were out there like 2-3 weeks ago.
Does it have a window or is this just like the whole flipping time? Because, I haven't spent a full year in Northwestern Ontario in a very long time. And I forgot how long winter was. And then we moved into tick season.
I've heard they can live years on trees and then they wait.
So they go through the winter?
Yeah. Yeah, they survive. Like if it's not super cold, I think we would have to fact check that, but like my common knowledge might be mistaken, but like that's what I thought. And then they jump down.
So great. I'm going to keep ticks away from me, but I'm never going to date again.
There we go.
So I think
we're good.
That was good.
Okay. Oh, more it has effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, grab that. More to color. Look
up. People also ask, what time of year are ticks most active? Tick exposure can occur year round.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Depending where you live.
But ticks are most active during warmer months, April to September. Oh, well, that's just like the whole flipping summer and spring. Know which ticks are most common in your areas. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Michael, from the Michael Aidit studio for joining me for this local rant.
Always. I'm a very, how do you say that? I rant a lot. It's important to express your emotions. I feel it's very bad if you like if you put it in the belly. Just like if you are upset, it's okay to let it out, you know?
Oh, I like that.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll continue to do the local rant
All right.
because I don't like bottling anything up.
No, you gotta let it out. Except if it's a tick, you bottle that up.
Oh, we still. That was good. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
And you know what? We're gonna do our little so that I can like
Yes, please.
cut and paste it all up. I hope I did this last time.
How do you keep those papers in order?
You know what? Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. I'm an amateur.
You wrote this
I
all
had to
out?
write this down.
That's amazing.
I'm a little like, I seem like I'm a rolling bag of chaos, but at the same time, I like to be a well-prepared
You are.
rolling
You are
ball
well
of
prepared.
chaos.
No.
So, it's the same name.
Mm-hmm.
From one to the other.
The triple M.
Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us for this local rant and True Beauty Confessions, where we do the dirty work
Sure do.
to clean up our beauty vibe. If you like this content, subscribe or let us know what you want to know about, because we want to hear from you.
Right.
And we want to talk about it.
Definitely.
So,
Like and subscribe, right?
like and subscribe.
Yeah. And send all those questions in. Tell me your best tick story.
Tell us your best tick story in the comments below. I won't end up looking at it because it makes me squirmish, but
I will read
Michael will. And he'll send them all to me. He'll paste them all over the walls so I can't. Michelle, you must see the truth. Okay. That's it. It's a wrap.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.